I just want to say, I feel like that's one issue that's inherent in like students in both directions. So it's easier to get initial users because they're like your peers, right? So they're like,
Yeah,
okay, whatever, we'll try it. But then they're not loyal, right? Because
yeah.
they're gonna be out of there. So is there a general lesson? Would you still like if you went back and open a new startup, a new users, and you were in university, would you still use students for it? But is it worth it or
Yeah, it's I think there's like three parts to this. One part is students are like the worst customers you'll probably have because they will find ways to break your system in ways that like you've never even imagined. Like they're great like troubleshooters. They're like,
uh-huh.
how do I get 13 users on this one? If your product's good, how do I get 13 users and rip you for pieces? They'll do that a million times. And that's if your product actually solves the problem. A
Right,
good example is check, right? The check, everyone's like getting test answers
right,
and homework answers. Like, yeah, there's 25 people logged in at once, like a one
right,
account, and you're like making 30 cents per person.
right.
That's option one. Option two is because they're bad customers, you should not ever really make them your main like paying customer.
Okay.
So like, it's classic diaper problem. Hey, who's buying the diapers? Is it the parent or the baby? So if it's helping students, like who is it the parent paying for it?
Hmm.
Is it like another is the university paying for it? And that's another way to think about it. And
Interesting.
and that's something I even have experience like working with now as a vendor to a university like that was actually more profitable than like ever working with like 30 students. But students actually have a superpower. Like students are like the reason why like products like Facebook and all of those got so big was because they are willing to do a lot for a little when it comes to like great products and great experiences. So like they're willing to share everything and they'll get you into rooms because they're students. Like
Okay.
there's a superpower with that. If a student is like your bridge into your main clientele, that's your cost of acquisition. So if you wanted to do like a resale marketing like platform and like students are like the worst customers you have, but they're like your best like ambassadors, they'll get you into every room. Like that's perfect. So like
Interesting.
yeah, I have a side story where I got into every hackathon on the East Coast
How?
for a summer. So essentially, once you get into one and you rep them really well, everyone's oh, you're a reputable person. Insert company name here. Like
Nice.
yeah. So I got into so essentially I had a long history working with HackGT at Georgia Tech. And this was like one of the largest hackathons in the US actually
Yeah.
when you're in school, you don't appreciate the fact that you're the biggest and like how
Right.
big you are and how fun you are. When you're out of it, they all view you like you're the king. You're like, oh, you guys are like the player, like trailblazers and all that. And we're like, we didn't know that. So essentially, I've been working with them. I found out the system. Like, if you offer a workshop and you're close with the organizers, they're gonna finagle things for you in a way that helps you. So sponsor packages are like 25, 50,000, $100,000 things.
Uh-huh.
They will waive that. They'll just waive it for you.
If you do a
And they
workshop?
yeah, I just hosted two workshops. They waived the fee entirely and then said, by the way, you're like our final judge. The people you're gonna
Nice.
be with is the NCR CTO, BlackRock CTO, and then you. And I'm like, I am wholly unqualified to be in this room, but okay. And now you're with
So,
them.
yeah, so you can probably get into almost any conference, not just hackathon, probably every conference you want, if you're willing to be help organize or do something. Yeah,
Exactly.
like you said, host a workshop or
Oh yeah.
and then you get like an organizer badge, right?
Oh
Then
yeah, you get an
which gets you
organizer, you
yeah
do
everywhere.
it, find
Yeah,
ways into it.
yeah.
And like I use the student card for so many things. Because a student researcher
Uh-huh.
exists, a student ambassador exists, and everyone treats students better just because they just assume they don't know anything.
Okay.
So like it gets you in rooms. So if your proxies are students, now hey, I'm pretty sure that student could get like a meeting with the AVP of that company. Just because they're like
Nice.
sending like like honestly a naive email to them. Like,
Right,
hey,
right.
I genuinely want to get connected. By the way, we have this thing. And I've gotten into a lot of rooms that way.
Interesting.
And we're always like, if you have no money, how do you get into these rooms? And
Right,
they're gonna ignore you on LinkedIn. Just assume
right.
they're gonna ignore you on LinkedIn.
When you're a
How do you
student.
yeah, with a
Yeah,
student if you're a student,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
but how do you get into
Because you
these
got
rooms?
nothing, because you got no career. Yeah.
Exactly. So like just how do we get into these rooms?
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. So you're turning your biggest disadvantage, the fact that you have no career, into an advantage because you're a student
Exactly.
and now you can get into just any room to help you organize something and tell you're an organizer in a hackathon or conference, or like I said, sending this naive email to top executive because you have nothing to lose, right?
Oh yeah, you have nothing to lose. And
Yeah,
if they say no, I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just move on to the next one.
exactly. Oh, I love that.